According to the people who pay attention to that sort of thing, 90 is the new 60 age-wise. A while back they announced 60 was the new 40. Suddenly I'm a spring chicken again. Of course, these optimistic evaluations can't possibly cover everyone, just those lucky enough to be able to afford the things that make these temporal improvements possible. I'm talking about having enough money for the kind of diet that promotes good health, being able to see a doctor and a dentist with some regularity, having enough leisure time to relieve stress, having reliable transportation and shelter from the elements, stuff like that. As an actor and radio broadcaster, I went through some very lean times in the beginning, sometimes working 7 days a week at a variety of minimum wage jobs to supplement my income and spending time on unemployment benefits between radio and acting gigs. But not for 1 second during those breaks did I ever think, this is pretty sweet, I think I'll just hang out here and put my feet up. I don't think I'm all that unusual in that attitude. Poverty is its own punishment, usually undeserved, and I doubt many people need a kick in the groin to try and move themselves out of it. Still, in the recent debt ceiling negotiations, the only people who really took it in the shorts were some of those receiving S.N.A.P funds. Specifically, the Republicans demanded work requirements be added for those aged 50 to 54 to receive supplemental nutritional benefit. Under the very optimistic age revisions I quoted at the start, that doesn't seem draconian, especially since veterans and the homeless are exempted. But if you're an unemployed 53-year-old single man or woman in an economically deprived area with limited access to transportation and physical or mental health issues, losing those benefits could be devastating. Under the old rules, by the way, this person would have been eligible for a paltry $250 per month for only 3 consecutive months in any calendar year, meaning the entire savings garnered by the debt ceiling deal is ridiculously pathetic. In other words, it has no meaning at all for the federal budget, but serious consequences for the individual I described. Part of the problem is, in this country, we tied benefits to employment, insurance, and health care, for example. Now, in the era of private contractors, that's no longer a thing for many. Sure, you can purchase insurance yourself through the Affordable Care Act if you make enough money to do so, but will any of the health care providers in your area accept the policy you can afford? Will a high copay put that procedure you absolutely need out of range? I recently had to drive over 60 miles to get a root canal because no endodontist closer than that took my insurance, and I was just notified I have to pony up $265 because the dentist used a specific x-ray technique my insurance doesn't cover. It's okay, I can afford it, but it would be devastating to many. I just heard about a guy who overdosed on Tylenol while trying to ease the pain of a toothache. Yesterday, my brother told me about a friend of his who works at a local factory. The guy had just worked 31 days straight to get 1 day off and had to work 12-hour shifts on either side of the day off to make up for it. He gets paid decent money, but receives no benefits, and good luck scheduling a doctor or a dentist appointment with those hours anyway. Companies complain about workers leaving and the inability to hire replacements. I wonder why. Here's my prescription. Give the workers a 40-hour week, vacation, and decent benefits, and you won't have a problem. In fact, your workers will be extremely loyal and go out of their way to make your company successful. You'll make far more money in the long run. So far as S.N.A.P goes, whether one's a religious person or an ethical atheist, compassion should be like the morning dew, falling on both the deserving and undeserving alike. If a man falls in the river, or more likely these days gets pushed in, do we really need to determine if he's deserving before we pull him out? The answer is no. As for me, I'm going to crank up Prince and party like it's 1999 when I was only 50, because apparently I am again.